Okay. On March 1st, 1991, the United States Forest Service released its final decision on the permits requested by FENA to drill in the Badger 2 Medicine area. They want to drill for oil and gas there. The Badger 2 Medicine is a roadless area bounded by Glacier National Park, the Blackfeet Indian Reservation, and the Bob Marshall Wilderness. It's the home of many endangered species, the grizzly bear, the gray wolf, bald eagle, peregrine falcon, and it's could be classified as a wilderness area or has potential to be classified as a wilderness area because it has no roads in it. If FENA and Chevron go ahead with their plans to put in oil and gas wells there, they will build 25 miles of new roads, and the area will lose its potential to be designated as a wilderness area. There's a very small chance that they'll even find oil or gas. There's a 0.91% chance that they'll find anything. Even if they find the maximum amount that's possible there, based on the current rate of consumption of oil in the United States, will only last the United States for 14 hours. One of the main reasons why the oil companies want to drill here is as a precedent-setting action, so that because they have a desire to open up all the wilderness that's left and exploit it in any way they can, and if they get the Badger 2 Medicine, then they'll be able to pretty much drill anywhere. And the thing of it is that the president and his cronies are pushing for domestic oil production in their new energy policy, and that's not the direction our country needs to go. We need to find some alternative energy sources. If we continue at the rate we're going of using up oil, the entire oil supply of the earth will be depleted within 20 or 30 years. And people don't realize this, and they continue to use oil and to have it at an abnormally and unnaturally and low price, which doesn't reflect the true cost it takes to extract it. People need to speak out.
I think that the purpose of the established media should be to cover the reasons why things are happening, and I think that it's conspicuous that none of the national media have even told us why the United States should go in, much less discussed whether or not they should go in. They touch on reasons like oil and the defense of the Kuwaiti people, but killing the Kuwaiti people won't really help them, and according to something I read recently, there are 25,000 dead people in the Gulf since the beginning of this. Oil, Bush showed that that isn't really a crisis when he vetoed the Bryan bill, which would have made it so that new cars had to get 40 miles to the gallon. And they never stick on any of the issues because they don't have any basis, and they will fall through if they made a definite claim. I think the purpose of stuff like the Missoulian should be to cover the forums that are happening on why should we be there and why shouldn't we. War is an awfully big decision, since nothing is more valuable than life, since without life nothing else would have value. And now, these messages.
Yeah, and then
I am the most powerful force in American politics today. I overwhelmingly swept in the 1988 elections. More than half of the people didn't vote. The ozone's deteriorating. The environment is falling apart. Our grandchildren, if they live through the fall of the environment, will never live past the end of the deficits we've raised now. But I don't care, because it doesn't affect me. Bush opposed any conservation measures in his new energy policy, and 50,000 US soldiers died in Vietnam because I didn't care. 2 million Vietnamese citizens died. I think that you should join my ticket in 1992, and this is a helpful leaflet. The third page shows all the things I've done over the years, and the second page shows why I've done them. On the last page, you can write for more information to any of these useless addresses, or you can call the phone number flashing on the screen, and no one will answer. Or don't call. Why should I care? Good afternoon, Mr. Bush. I've been hearing you haven't been feeling well recently. What with your son in jail and public outcry for responsible environmental policy? Well, have I the solution for you? This is what your predecessor used. It's amnesia and confusion combined, mixed in about equal proportions. I don't know, the public might be getting kind of tired of it, and they build up antibodies to this sort of thing. We could try a dose of this. A healthy dose of distraction cures almost any problems. Maybe you need something stronger than that. I'll look down and see what I have on my shelves. This'll do the trick. Now this isn't much oil. It doesn't look like much oil to you. It doesn't look like much oil to me. But you'd be surprised, when we magnify it through the use of big media and stuff, it'll look to the people like a hell of a lot of oil. And I can give this to you for, say, $20 billion. I know, that's kind of, you expected me to charge more than that, I'm sure. Since you're such a nice guy, I'll give it to you for $18 billion. And don't worry about the cost. We'll put it on the tab of the taxpayers. They won't notice the difference. In 1978, a boycott was leveled against the Nestle Corporation for the milk nurse scandals in Africa. The World Health Organization, UNICEF, and a number of church groups eventually joined the boycott, and in 1984, Nestle backed down on all counts. They waited 2.5 years, but Nestle is back. What they've been doing is they own half of the world infant formula market. They deliver enough free infant formula that mothers will stop producing their own milk. As soon as the mothers have stopped producing milk, then Nestle will start charging for the formula, which means they have a captive customer. With children that young, there's nothing else you can feed them. That would be just slimy, but not bad, if it was happening here. But a lot of people in Africa can't afford this stuff, and a lot of people die because there's nothing to feed them and no way to get that money. Sanitation is another problem with the infant formula. If you take and mix infant formula powder with unsanitary water, it's a lot more dangerous than if the mother drinks unsanitary water and it's filtered through her before it gets to the baby. They print the directions for how to mix the stuff only in French and English. And that isn't just an oversight, because that's been brought up to them. If they printed them in the native languages, then people would realize that they didn't have the water to do it and that it wasn't safe. Nestle is one of the slimiest corporations around today on a number of other counts. Not just are they responsible for deaths over there, they're responsible for a multi-million-dollar false advertising campaign to lie to you here. The Beechnut subsidiary offered their baby food as 100% pure apple juice. They run one of the biggest operations in South Africa. A group out of California are calling a boycott of Nestle. Nestle owns Carnation and everything that Carnation owns. Stouffer's, the food line and the hotels, and half the coffee industry. In this age of increased consumer awareness, let's ask a man on the street why he buys what he does. Oh, sir. Oh, hi. I see you looking at that Agree stuff.
Yeah.
Why is it that you buy that?
Agree? Well, grease produced by S.C. Johnson Corporation, and, you know, this is the environmental decade, and I heard that it's cool to be concerned, so I understand that they're environmentally friendly.
In 1978, a boycott was leveled against the Nestle Corporation for the milk nurse scandals in Africa. UNICEF, and a number of church groups eventually joined the boycott, and in 1984, Nestle backed down on all counts. They waited 2.5 years, but Nestle is back. What they've been doing is they own half. On March 5th, a large crowd gathered at the university. They marched down to the Federal Building to protest the Forest Service having given Chevron and FINA a go-ahead to drill in the Badger 2 medicine area.
But goddammit, now's the time that they approved the decision to drill at Hall Creek, and we'll simply not stand for it. This is their approval. This is their record of decision, and the best thing that we can do with this is disregard it. We simply will not accept it. We demand that the Badger 2 medicine be preserved now.
And I think it's a real troublesome situation, and that the Forest Service simply has lied. Back in 1981, when they issued these oil and gas leases, they told the public, don't worry, these leases do not convey a right to development. They don't. You don't have to worry about it. We'll do the environmental studies when they drill. Now they're saying that the leases do convey a right to development. Obviously, this isn't consistent. They lie.
So let's all write our congressman and do something about this, huh?
Struggling to protect this particular piece of land for quite a number of years, and we've grown accustomed to the actions of the Forest Service, because time and again they have not listened to our demands. They have not listened to our requests. They will not respect our religion, our spiritual beliefs. And it's very hard to try to convey this sense of spirituality we have toward this land. I guess this man who just got in his car over here and roared his car, and that kind of mentality, we're dealing with that at the corporate level, at the governmental level.
After the march, there were already 2 appeals to prevent the drilling. Appealers had an appointment at 1 o'clock. At 1:25, the Forest Service guy got there.